Well, hello there everybody, and welcome back to another video in the new 2017 PC build saga, I guess you could say. So far, there's been about 3 videos that I've made. I've made the parts overview video, the time-lapse video, the first SSHD cloning video, or how to clone a hard drive. I've made that video, and now I'm kind of deciding to change my plans regarding the solid-state hybrid drive. So what I've actually decided to do is purchase a traditional solid-state drive. I'm going to purchase, I think I'm going to get the Samsung 850 Evo Pro, whatever it's called, one of the better solid-state drives, to use as my, to have as my Windows boot drive, as I've been noticing that even with all of this hardware on a traditional hard drive, and this is probably for a couple of reasons, the PC can still run a little bit slow. And I think the main reason is this hard drive has not been formatted and refreshed in probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, because this hard drive actually came with an HP computer that I bought, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago is when that I got it, and I then moved that hard drive over to my older PC build, and I'm now moving that hard drive over to this one right here. So I'm still going to keep that hard drive. I have that hard drive as a backup right now, and I actually have it physically unplugged from this machine, so that nothing goes wrong. The only hard drive that I have plugged in is the SSHD, and the plan is I'm going to use this, and I'll move over here and I'll show you this interesting tool that I found from Microsoft actually. It's called the, let me find my mouse cursor here, it's called the Windows Clean Installation Refresh Tool, or something along those lines. And essentially it does what it sounds like it does. It installs a clean copy of Windows 10 and kind of resets everything back to its default settings. Now, I was originally going to go into settings here and reset this PC, but I noticed that down at the bottom here there's this little thing for recovery options. And you can see right there it says learn how to start fresh with a clean installation of Windows, and I clicked on that, and that's how that I found this website right here from Microsoft. So we're going to be trying this out and seeing if it works. And so then I'm going to, I haven't ordered the SSD yet, so I'm going to install a clean copy of Windows on the hybrid drive, and then I'm going to clone that image over to the solid state drive when I get it. And then I'll either keep the solid state hybrid drive as another backup drive, or send it back to Newegg, and I'll probably have to pay, I think there's like a 10% restocking fee, or something like that, which I probably won't mind doing, as I'll get some of the money back that I can work towards paying for the SSD with. So I've already downloaded the tool, and this is it right here. And the reason why that I'm doing this, I'm kind of doing this video in a little bit of a different style. It's on the only thing that isn't different is it is on the same camera that I always use, but I'm not using my Turtle Beach headset's microphone and Audacity to actually record the audio. I'm using the built-in microphone on the camera. So if it sounds a little bit different, it sounds not as crisp and clear, that's why. But it's really the only way that I can do this, because I'm not going to be able to have that running while the PC is going through this whole process. So we're just going to start this up here. I have told it to keep nothing here. So this is going to totally wipe this drive. It says it's going to download an image. It'll take about, or it is about 3 gigabytes in size, which we'll see how long that takes. So we're going to click on the start button right here, and it seems like it's going to go through. This is probably going to be very similar to the media creation tool from Microsoft, which kind of does the same thing. It downloads an image of Windows to your computer, which you can then burn to a DVD, and you can put it into another computer that you want to install Windows 10 on. So it just went away, and okay, it's popping back up here. It does say Windows 10 setup up at the top here, so that is, kind of interesting. I guess it is a Windows 10 setup. One of the issues that I've been noticing, and this is something else that I want to mention, if you're ever planning on transferring your hard drive over to a new PC and you have Windows 8 or Windows 10, I had this problem when I originally did this, is Microsoft now, for whatever reason, decided to tie your Windows license to your PC's hardware, which is kind of a dumb thing to do. I can see kind of why that they did it. It kind of cuts down on piracy a lot more, but it makes it very difficult for, like, when I was going from my HP computer, I had bought that, it came pre-installed with Windows 8. I then upgraded that to, or I actually think I upgraded to Windows 10 on my build, but anyways, I had Windows 8, and I wanted to transfer that hard drive with all my stuff on it over to my new, or my then new PC build. And when I booted it up for the first time, I got the little gray little watermark at the bottom right of the screen that said Windows isn't activated. And I was kind of confused because, this was a totally genuine copy that came pre-installed on the HP machine. And I had to contact probably about 10 different Microsoft support people, and I actually found a actual command that you could run, which I will put on the screen, right now. You have to run this command in an admin command prompt, and it'll give you your original product key. And you have to do that on the old computer. Now, I had already moved my hard drive over to all the new hardware, so when I ran that command, it was showing that I had no product key. I had to move that hard drive back over to the HP machine, boot it up, run that command, and then it showed me my old product key, which I have written down, because it's probably going to do the same thing again here. It's probably going to, when it gets done with this, it's probably going to say, actually it says right now, if you go in here and we go back to Control Panel Home, you see right at the bottom here, which of course the camera is not going to pick it up, it says Windows isn't activated, activate Windows now. And you click on this, and what they've done now in Windows 10, what they've done now in Windows 10, which really is no help to me, because it just doesn't work for me for whatever reason, is they've done this thing where if you click on troubleshoot here, and this thing will pop up, and you can click on I changed hardware on this device recently, and it comes up with this thing. It asks you to sign in with your Microsoft account, and it basically is a little wizard that helps you try to move your licensing over to the new hardware. For some reason, it might be because I never associated my HP computer with a Microsoft account, although I did very briefly, but then I unassociated it. It's not finding it, so it's saying that I don't have a valid Windows key. Now, when I put the key in to this wizard, or to this, when I click on change product key, when I put my key in, it'll work, but it'll give me this error saying it can't reach the activation server. So that might be something with their servers or something, but I assume that it works that way. So just keep that in mind if you're ever going through this whole process of cloning or moving your hard drive image over to another computer. You're going to probably encounter activation issues. So just be mindful of that when you're doing this, and it can be very frustrating. It was very frustrating for me the first time with Windows 8, because there was virtually no, I couldn't really find anybody else that was having this issue, and I'm not really sure why, but I had to and when I kept going and asking Microsoft, the majority of the support people kept telling me that I had to buy a new copy of Windows 8 for $100 or whatever, and they said, oh, that's the only way that you can fix it, you got to buy a whole new copy, which I was like, no, okay, that doesn't sound right. There has to be some other way, which obviously there was. They just didn't want to actually take the time themselves to actually look into it. But they've made it a little bit easier now. That whole troubleshooting method might work for you, it might not, but I'm already up to 10 minutes on this first segment here, and we're not even done downloading. So I'm gonna just pause this here, and we're gonna come back once this is done. Hopefully it'll automatically go through the rest of the process. I believe it's gonna be pretty simple, but I'll show you guys what that looks like when I come back. Alright, so we are back, and as you can see here, we have gone through the rest of the Windows 10 setup, and we are here at the I guess user information screen where it kind of asks you for all of your user account info. So I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to ask me for a product key. Now I don't have the whole. Let me actually see if I can. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit everything on screen. I guess that's the best we're gonna do, because I do want to customize some of these things, because I don't want to send my data to Microsoft. I don't want to send typing and inking data to Microsoft. I don't want to have apps use my advert. Like, all this stuff is turned on by default, and it's kind of, you know, pretty ridiculous. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the whole like Windows 10's, I guess, quote unquote spying, I guess, controversy that a lot of people were having, where like, again, all these settings are automatically turned on. So smart screen, I think, is the only thing that in here, use smart screen launchers help protect against malicious content. That's the really only thing that you want to be on. But we don't want to send browsing data to Microsoft. And this right here, like, get updates from and send updates to other PCs on the internet. Like, this literally uses your internet bandwidth to send updates to other PCs. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that's even in there. I mean, I guess it could be useful for like network setting, but still, I have it on like a home operating system is kind of a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. And apparently a lot of other people agreed, because that's why Windows, like, there's all these tools out to kind of help with turning all these settings off. So we're going to, do I want to sign in with a Microsoft account or not? I had a local account on my older computer, or on my old Windows install. We'll just skip this for now and create a local account. Actually, I do want to create a local account because I want to make the username just Michael. Because if you sign in with your email, it'll make the like the username your, like, part of your email address, and it's very annoying. Okay, so we've got it set up. We've got our hint in there, which is usually what I always do. I just think it's pretty funny. We're not going to use Cortana because I don't want to set that up. Again, it's kind of, I mean, okay, Cortana is actually kind of useful, but I just don't really, I thought I was going to be using it a lot on Windows 10, but, I haven't really been using it. It's a lot easier just to type things out and search for it. I think it would definitely work a whole lot better with, like, if you had like a Windows phone, and you relied more on the Microsoft ecosystem. I could definitely see it working there. It's the same way that sort of with the Apple ecosystem with Siri on the Mac and on your iPhone, how it kind of like works seamlessly together. But I use an iPhone, and I have an Android tablet, and I have a Windows PC, so I kind of have the best of, I guess, all three worlds, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I know there's like a lot of off-topic rambling in this video, but I guess some of this stuff kind of relates to what we're talking about. But so it's getting things ready here. This is all your standard Windows 10 setup stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. So I'm probably just gonna pause the video here once again and let this finish up, and I will come back once we are at the desktop, hopefully. Alright, and as soon as I stop the camera, it finished with the setup, like something that never happens. But you can see here that we've got everything all set up. I'm seeing if it seems a lot faster. Obviously, my resolution is a little bit screwed up. So we've got this PC here. We've got our hard drive. It still, for some reason, is saying, man, why is it using this much? What? Why is it using 900 gigabytes of space? That doesn't seem right. Why is it, what's on here? Did it keep all my, oh, it probably kept a backup. Yeah, Windows.old. Okay, so it kept a backup of all my program files and everything, which is nice, but I mean, I'm not going to need this because, let's see how big this is. It's probably very large. Wow, 900 megabytes. It's so big. But yeah, this is probably where a lot of the stuff is. So we're probably I'm probably just going to delete this folder, which I think you can do from disk cleanup actually, because I'm not going to be able to clone this over to my solid state drive because it's using 900 gigabytes. So I'm going to see if we can do that right now. But so far, I mean, even on, you know, on a very basic install, oh, there's an update required, okay. It definitely seems, I mean, a little bit faster. Stuff is, I mean, again, this is off of a, traditional spinning hard disk. So it seems to be loading things a lot faster. Let's see if Windows is activated. Oh, it's not activated. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is because that we reinstalled it or because the same product key is transferring from before, which for some reason is invalid. I guess I got to re-put my HP product key in here, and it should work fine. So I just have to. That's actually on my other hard drive, which I don't have plugged into the computer right now. So what I'm going to do now is figure out why. Is it even figuring out what my graphics adapter is? Can I put this up to 1080p? I mean, I don't know why it had it on that. Display adapter properties. Okay, so it's not. It has the Microsoft Basic display, so there's no drivers installed. So this will actually be a good thing too, because all of my drivers have been reset, and I did have drivers installed for my older 660 graphics card, my GTX 660, and like older chipset drivers and all of that, which probably isn't a huge deal as the computer was functioning perfectly fine, before. But now that all that crap's off of there, it's probably going to run a little bit faster, which is kind of what it's already doing. So I'm going to probably do a lot of driver installation on this, and first thing I'm going to do is disk cleanup. I'm going to see, because I know there's a way to, I think tools, let's see, previous versions. How do you do disk cleanup? Can you not? So disk cleanup right here. I think it should come up with an option to show you like older Windows installations, and you should be able to just check that and be able to remove it. Because I know that I had a lot of programs installed in here, or no, in Windows.old program files. There's a lot of stuff installed in here, but again, I've got all this backed up on my older Seagate 2TB drive, so I'm just going to have that anyway plugged in to my computer with the SSD. So we're going to see how well that works, but so far definitely performing a lot faster. And so now what I'm going to do is probably put this video on hold for a little bit, as I'm going to have to first of all get the SSD, and then I'm going to begin the process of actually cloning this drive over to the SSD, and we'll see how that goes. So I will see you guys once I've got that all set up. So I just thought I would point this out here, so you can see we've got disk cleanup open, and it's found all the files that we can clean up. So we'll do setup log files, Windows Defender. This is a brand new installation, so there's not really going to be that much. If we scroll down here though to what we see, we've got Windows ESD installation files. We'll clean all this up. So we've got 5 gigabytes now. We go down a little more, you'll see we've got previous Windows installations, 907 gigabytes. That is all the data from our previous Windows installation. So we're just going to check all of this. Again, most of it isn't really going to be that much, except for the 907 gigabytes, and the rest adds up to 14. So we're going to clear this drive pretty well up. So we're going to permanently delete these files, and this is just with regular disk cleanup. It's got that very nice option to delete previous Windows installations, this windows.old folder in here, which when you sometimes when you do like a Windows reset, like I just did, it will actually save all, like it says that it's going to wipe everything, but it does save all your program files, and apparently it's resetting something. I don't know why. I guess that was my display adapter. I don't know, but it does save inetpub, perflogs, program files x86, recovery, your users folder, so this would be all of my documents too, which I had already wiped anyway. And of course the Windows folder. So it does save a lot of stuff. So even if you didn't have all this data backed up on like another hard drive, you would still be able to, you know, have access to it in the Windows.old folder, which is pretty nice. It just doesn't really tell you that it does that. So we're going to be cleaning up drive C here. This is probably going to take a while because again, it's basically erasing 907, almost a terabyte of space is, you know, what it's erasing off of this drive. So I'm just going to let it, oh, you can see here, or no, I thought it was, I thought that this ring had like moved, but it hasn't done that yet because it kind of looked that way, the way that it was positioned behind the window. But yeah, I'm just going to do this, and as I said, I will be back once I'm able to do the SSD cloning process. Alright, so we are back, and I've noticed over the past couple of clips that the lighting has not been optimal, so I've kind of added a little light here. You may also notice that I do sound a little bit sick. I've been dealing with something for the past couple of days, but I did get the SSD in, so here it is right here, the Samsung VNAND SSD 850 EVO. I have opened it, as you can see, and excuse me, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So here it is right here. In this case actually includes an SSD mounting bracket right here in the front, and there's one on the back as well. I'm probably going to end up putting it on the front here, you know, just so that it looks nice, and there's actually a built-in window to the actual front panel of the case so that you can kind of see it through. The only problem is the ports are on this side right here, and the SSD, you know, like it kind of goes in like that, and then the ports are facing that way, and they need to be facing the other way. So I have the option of doing it like this, which will look upside down, or I can flip it over like this and do it like that, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. So also included was a couple of other things. There's an installation guide, which is, you know, pretty simple. You've got your warranty statement summary. You've also got a manual and software on a DVD right here. Now I do believe that there is a pretty cool Samsung software that can be used. It's the Samsung Data Migration, something like that. That it's you know, kind of does the same thing that the, you know, that what I'm basically going to be doing is I'm going to basically be cloning that SSHD that I've already formatted and reinstalled Windows 10 on. I'm going to basically be cloning that to this SSD right here. But first off, before that we do that, we're going to have to actually install it into the case. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I did get out a cable right here from my power supply, and I think I have some more SATA cable somewhere, but I am running a little bit low on them, so I had to get this one right here, and this was actually going to my other drive that was in my 500 gig external drive. So I'm going to have that unplugged right now and just have this go into the SSD temporarily, so that I can, you know, clone the SSHD over to it, and then I'm going to unplug the SSHD and totally remove it from my system, and then probably run that cable into here. So it doesn't come with any screws or anything, obviously, so I'm going to have to find some, which I do have all this stuff still. I do still have all this stuff out. So you've got the little nice little Fantex box that's got all the screws in it. It's really nice that they, you know, did that they just put all the screws in this nice little box and included it with the case. So I'm gonna find the right, I think there's actually only 4 of them left. I think these would work perfectly fine. Alright, so we've got the SSD mounted in there. I did actually have to pull out my nice little iFixit sort of bendy screwdriver here, where you kind of, because I did decide to put the screws in the bottom of this, which some people might think is kind of a pretty stupid idea, because again, this is an SSD. You can probably just, you know, throw this anywhere in the case and it'll be fine. But I did just, you know, want to put those on there so it's, you know, going to stay actually secure in here. But this is a, you know, pretty nice little tool, and it's very easy to, you know, kind of get under to these hard places where you kind of, because like the bottom of the case is right here. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to plug in the SATA cable right here. I'm going to plug that into the side. This is probably going to be difficult to get out. Alright, it's in, so we're going to plug my computer back in here. And we're going to power it on. I'm going to move the camera over to the monitor so you can actually see this. I know these past couple of videos have been kind of in a totally different style, in a, you know, kind of, I guess you could say like lazy style, because I've not really been doing much with the audio side of things, and it's kind of, you know, like sort of off the cuff, I guess you could say. But, you know, I just figured this would be, you know, pretty cool. So we're going to get this fired up here. And we're going to enter the BIOS, so that we're going to press delete. We're going to see if it has found a new hard drive. So we go in here, we go to storage, and you can see in SATA port 4 we've got a Samsung SSD, 250 gigs over here. Alright, so we are back once again with another unfortunate turn of events, although it's not really that unfortunate. You can see that I have the Rufus tool open here. This is a pretty cool program that I showcased in my, I believe it was my Tiny 7 on a USB stick video. But essentially what was happening is basically there were more problems. Long story short, when I tried to go and boot from the SSD, it was just hanging on the Windows 10 loading screen. And it wasn't, you know, getting past that. And I'm like, okay, for a solid state drive, it should not be taking this long to boot. Something's obviously wrong. And I figured it would just be easier, instead of going through, you know, the whole process of trying to diagnose this and try to, you know, figure out what's wrong with it. I figured it's just going to be a lot easier to do a full clean install and, you know, reformat this SSD, and, you know, do a full clean install of Windows 10, which is what I'm you know, going to be doing here with the Rufus tool. I'm right now burning, or not burning, but copying a Windows 10 ISO file that I just downloaded over to this USB stick, which was it was pretty difficult to actually get that working at first, because the media creation tool from Microsoft wasn't working properly, and there's a way to actually change your browser's user agent, and you go to the same web page, and it then allows you to download a regular ISO file. I might do like a whole separate video on that, because the Windows Media Creation tool can be pretty stupid sometimes, and it was very buggy for me when I was trying to use it. It kept failing. I tried about 5 times on 2 different computers, and it kept failing. And every time I would have to re-download the entire 5 gigabyte image, which took about, you know, 30 to 45 minutes each time. So I wasted a whole bunch of time, and I finally figured out that, you know, there's a little bit of a workaround in just downloading the standard ISO file, which is what I've done here. So the plan is, now I'm going to go through the Windows 10 setup process. I'm going to format this SSD within the Windows 10 setup process, so that it'll, you know, just be like a brand new SSD. And then hopefully everything should work fine from there. You know, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully I will see you in a, you know, good, nice, clean copy of Windows 10 boot from the SSD. Hopefully that's what's going to happen, but, you know, we will see. Alright, so we are back after a very fast Windows 10 installation, and this PC sounds a whole lot quieter. Because again, it's the only thing that is plugged in is the only hard drive that's plugged in is the solid state drive. So it is a lot quieter. That was one of the first things that I noticed, is, you know, because what I actually did is I had all my other hard drives completely, you know, disconnected from the system, so that I you know, wouldn't run into any errors with like accidentally formatting those or something like that. So, you know, that is pretty cool, and this whole system just feels a whole lot snappier, and it's, you know, very nice. So I'm gonna get into the process now of installing all of my drivers for all the various hardware that I have, and pretty much, you know, reconnecting all my other hard drives, which are now just going to be solely for storage drives. But this, I went through a lot of problems to get to this point, but it turned out to be a very good success, and I'm very happy about that. So I would like to thank all you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this little, I mean, I don't know how long this video is. It's probably going to be about 30 or more minutes long, probably, if I include all of the footage that I have captured, which I may or may not do just for time's sake. But if you enjoyed this video, definitely sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the near future. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.